All right, let me get your attention. Okay, sweet. All right, now that we finished this practice book page together, we're gonna move into reading rotations. And my schedule's a little wonky because some people have moved, but I'm gonna update you on that here. So for today, for the reading rotations, at the kidney table first, I would like Emily, Megan, Ben, and Bella. What you'll need is your red reading spiral. Hold on. Red reading spiral, Journey's textbook, and a pencil. Okay? You guys can go ahead and make your way back there. Group 2, starting on your practice book page or finishing them up, is Daniel V. and Josiah. Just catch up on that homework, and I'll catch you back up at the kidney table here in a bit.
I got all of them done.
Okay, let's double check. And if anything, read to self, right? Group 3, Dylan C., Kinsey, Isaiah, Hunter, Mason, Daniel J. You will be sitting together at the front carpet in the grass, reading the leveled reader to yourself, amongst yourself, in a circle, facing each other, projecting, following along, all that great stuff. And my last group, Micah, Cayman, Bear, Abby, David. You are going to take your red reading spiral and continue on with the 3-column notes that we started yesterday. So yesterday we got to page 204, 205. Turn the page. Now you're going to do 205, 206, and be looking for more instances where you're learning about your characters based on what they say, what they do, and how they're feeling, and how that helps you better understand the character. Okay? Questions? Micah.
Can we look back? Like, can we still do thoughts and actions and words from page 204 and 205?
Yeah. Yes. So you can use any page up to 206. Nevaeh, why don't you, thank you, work on your practice book? Okay. Thank you for solving that problem. You're amazing. Bear.
If we're in like group 4, since me and Mike are at the same table, me and Mike would be able to work together.
If you can keep it at a level 1 whisper, I'll allow it.
Okay.
The moment that it becomes a level 2, I'm going to shut it down. Okay.
Kind of did work together there too.
So one group doing leveled readers. Another group, hold on, working on their practice book page. One group back with me at the kidney table. And the final group working through their journey story and taking some more focused notes on understanding characters through feelings, thoughts, and words. Now, as always, I'll be working with the back group at the table, so I need you guys to keep it at a level 1, and that's the maximum. A whisper is as loud as it should be out here, okay? Any questions? Beautiful, let's do it. So 86, 88, 89, and 90. Double check that, and then you can read yourself if you're all done. Okay. Nice with you. Yeah. Sorry, I need to grab my spiral. Alrighty, friends. So, yeah.
That was in 2 weeks.
Can you be in 2 places at once for me?
No, she got to be in 2 weeks.
Oh, I know. Okay, so let's open up to page 200, which is the very first page of the story. Something read to self. Okay, so you guys know I love this story. This is like my all-time favorite journey story. And I really can't put my finger on why I like it so much. I just think the author does a great job of making me feel something when I read it. I don't know, I just get a really good feeling when I read this story. It just, I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me find the words to describe it, but I just think it's a great story. So, as you guys copied down in your notes today, some of the other kids and I got started beforehand yesterday, And we were like, okay, what details in this story, either something a character says, does, or thinks, helps us better understand either Aunt Nanette, James, or Uncle Romy, right? So one of the actions we pulled from the text was, and it was on page 202 and 203, Aunt Nanette took James' hand and guided him through the crowd.
Okay.
What does that say? What does that say about Aunt Nanette? That she took his hand and guided him through the crowd. What do you think, Megan?
I think it is kind.
That she's a kind person.
Yeah.
I would agree. What do you think, Ben?
She's gentle.
She's gentle, right? She didn't yank him through the crowd. She guided him through the crowd. Totally.
He didn't do a yummy.
Yeah, she didn't grab him by the ear and say, "Come on, Sonny." So let's go to the next page and see if we can't find some more details that help us understand either James, Aunt Nanette, or Uncle Romy. So I'm on page 204. Go ahead and flip the page, Ben, to page 204.
Okay.
Okay. So they're talking about Uncle Romy and that he's an artist. So James says, "That sounds kind of easy," I said. Aunt Nanette laughed. Does everybody see where we're at? Okay, awesome. Bella, why don't you read just a little bit for us?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, James. When you see the paintings, you'll understand. Come on, let's get you to bed.
Okay, let's stop there. Aunt Nanette says, "Come on, let's get you to bed." Do those words tell us anything about Aunt Nanette? What do you think, Megan?
Kind again.
Kind what? So the fact that she wants to put him to bed, how does that make her kind?
Like take care of him.
She's caring. She's taking care of him. And I'm going to just pause you right there. Eagles, you're quite loud and you're disrupting my table. So I'm going to have you guys go to a level 0 instead of the 1, okay? Thank you for making that adjustment. So Aunt Nanette put him to bed. Because that's something that mothers do. And she's not his mom. She's his aunt. So it shows that she does care. She wants him to get a good night's rest, I think. What do you think, Ben?
She probably got back on her mom, and she wants him to be healthy. It's New Year's birthday, so he wants all the energy.
Yeah.
And she wants him to play outside, make a couple friends there.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Just from a simple sentence, we already have the sense that Aunt Nanette cares about him. Mm-hmm. We're only on the second page of the story. Emily, what do you think?
He's been on a train for so long, he needs to rest.
Good thinking. So earlier in the story, they talked about that long train ride he had taken. So you're kind of pulling on your prior knowledge now, thinking, okay, if he was on a train, he's probably tired. And I think Aunt Nanette was thinking the same thing you were. He needs rest. I think you're going to be a very caring aunt, like Aunt Nanette. So let's see. On the words column, let's write in quotes, because it is her saying it in the story. "Come, let's get you to bed."
Okay. Where's
You see it?
right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right here.
And Emily, what I really love that you said was that he had been on the train for so long. So you were pulling details from earlier in the story. You were using your prior knowledge to make an inference based on the simple sentence. That's some real high-level thinking, girl. You better cool it. Just cool it, all right? Okay.
I'm just ready to learn.
You're just ready to learn, and I love it, and I appreciate it. Because you know what? That means everyone's learning. And you bring your A game, right? Okay, so are we just about ready? You're almost there. I want to get into this next part when Uncle Romy comes in and what we think about him so far in the story. Because he's one of the characters that kind of change, or our opinion of him changes throughout the story.
I number him a little bit.
Do you? Let's see. All right. Do you mind if I read this part? Because I love to do his voice. Okay. Lying in the dark, I heard heavy footsteps in the hall. A giant stared at me from the doorway. "Hello there, James." Uncle Romy's voice was deep and loud like thunder. "Thanks for the pepper jelly," he boomed. "You have a good sleep now." Then he disappeared down the hall. Any ideas of things that he said, thoughts?
He's kinda scary, kinda.
So what about him is scary?
His voice.
His voice. So is that words, thoughts, or actions? So think about words. Was it what he said? Because an
Thought.
action could be how he said it.
How he said it.
So, do you
how
think,
he said
so what do you think? Is that going to words or actions?
it. How he said it. Well, words is just like the way he said it out loud.
So what did he say? He was like, "Hello there, James.
And
You have
thanks for the pepper jelly.
Thanks for the pepper jelly." So here, I'll give you an example. I'm going to say the same words 3 different ways. Thanks for the pepper jelly. Thanks for the pepper jelly. Thanks for the pepper jelly. Right. My words aren't changing, but the way I'm saying them kind of is different, right? And it kind of changes the meaning. So I think you're right. I think it should go under actions because the way he said it, his tone of voice. So,
But that also tells he knows how he uses his manners.
yeah, you're right, Ben. Even though he has a loud, scary voice, he's using his manners. And that's just,
And that's the action.
and that's an action. Do you mind if I add that to my notes? So, Uncle Romy, I'll put 2 things. Has a scary tone of voice.
Kinda.
Is there another word when he's scary?
I would call it scary if it was me.
You would scary. Let's stick with scary. Uncle Romy has a scary. We'll stick with scary. Scary voice. But also, Uncle Romy uses his manners.
Well, why put the way he says his words?
Yeah, the way he says his words, his tone of voice. I can almost feel his presence in the doorway, the way James describes it.
Well, at least he's well trained and how to use his manners.
Yeah. So let's look at these 2 details we pulled from the text. That Uncle Romy has a scary voice, but also Uncle Romy uses his manners. What do you notice about those 2 details? Ben?
He seems like we're like trying to change our mind and making us feel they think more about him, like he's lying.
Yeah, he's kind of an interesting character. Like you said, we're thinking about him now. If he was just a nice uncle with a nice voice saying nice things, I don't think we'd pay him much attention. We'd be like, oh, he's a nice guy. But these 2 details,
like the scary voice is scary, and then the manners is like kind.
yeah, it's like scary, kind. What is he? What kind of person is he?
He's like in the middle.
He's like in the middle. I think the author did a really good job making us interested about that character. Because it wasn't until you guys gave me this note that I realized what it really was. Like, yeah, he seems scary one minute and then nice the next minute. Wow. Yeah, so something to think about when you're writing your stories, as an author. This is a really interesting way to present a character. Yeah.
I'm doing is like a little picture and then right there.
Oh, kind of like a compare contrast. Right? On one side, he's this way. On one side, he's that way. Interesting.
I'm actually doing the same here.
Yeah, I like that idea. I'm going to do that too.
Like a face.
Yeah, I'm going to do a smiley face on this side and then like a scary face on this side. And then a question mark because I'm not sure how I feel about him yet. That was a good idea, Megan. Thanks for that suggestion.
We don't know is. Maybe.
Ooh, then it kind of keeps us interested to keep reading,
Yeah.
right? I agree.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'm
then,
making some hands go bold.
alright, so the next part where we're going to jump in, if you're ready, is the next morning. It's the looks like the third paragraph down. Emily, would you mind reading for us? The next morning.
Yeah. The next morning, the door to Uncle Ronnie's studio was closed, but Aunt Nanette had plans for both of us. Today we're going to a neighborhood called Harlem, she said. It's where Uncle Ronnie lived as a boy.
Okay, let's stop there.
Okay.
Okay, any ideas about things that were said, thought, or done? Did it,
They were
done?
going to Uncle Ronnie's childhood.
Okay, so where would that go? Under,
It'll go Harlem.
so, but under what column? That they're going to Harlem. What column would I put that under? Are they saying it, thinking it, or doing it?
Oh. They're like saying it.
Well, he said we're going to Harlem.
Yeah.
But is that what he's excited about? Or is he excited to go to Harlem?
He's excited to go to Harlem.
To do it, right? So I think maybe an action.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right.
I think the actions have like a lot of things.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, you see how this thoughts we haven't even filled out, and then actions we already have 2. This one has 1. So I'm thinking that maybe they have more actions than words.
Yeah,
Thoughts.
I
Yeah.
think you're right. Do you think that's the case for all stories? Or maybe just this author's choice?
Sometimes the author like uses the characters that say a lot of things to each other, and then
There's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
They're talking back and forth. Yeah, maybe that's why I like this story so much. There's a lot of action.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't
Like
know.
in every store, they're like doing an action.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're moving and like they're making a they're like making a movie, but they're actually making a story.
Yeah. Interesting connection. Okay, so the action we'll put here, remind me, is they're going to a neighborhood, or where are they going?
To Harlem.
Okay, so James and his aunt are going to Harlem?
Yeah.
Like going to the childhood.
Yeah, to the childhood place. That's where Uncle Romy grew up.
I did. They went to UR. I don't want to say the other name.
So
Uh-huh.
is it James and his aunt?
James and his aunt went to Harlem. All right, James and his aunt went to Harlem. Seems like a pretty simple action. Does this detail tell us anything about the character? Does it help us understand Aunt Nanette or James any better? You don't think so?
the one just tells us that they're going somewhere.
Okay. I challenge you to dig a little deeper. What's special about this place? Why would they choose to go there of all places?
It's telling us about Uncle Romy's childhood and where he lived.
Uncle Romy's childhood and where he lived. Who's that important to?
Uncle Romy.
Uncle Romy. Anyone else? Megan?
Her mom, dad, or her wife.
Yeah.
Maybe they met there.
Maybe they met there. Oh, I love it. See? Now we're thinking. What do you think, Emily?
Like now, this part of the story is turned into get into Uncle Romy than the aunts.
So what do you mean?
Like
Maybe this would be like their backstory where where it began.
yeah, first it began like we're talking about the aunt. Now it's talking mostly about Uncle Romy.
Yeah. So Daniel Van Brockling. Okay, so where you grew up, is that important to you?
It's your childhood home.
So-
yeah, our old town.
Okay.
Or neighborhood.
Yeah, so is that something personal to you? Would you share that with just anyone or with
So
important?
I like putting in thoughts.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Because he's like processing in his head instead of sharing it out loud to everybody.
Yeah. So what connection do you think James has to Uncle Romy and to Harlem?
Like Harlan connects kind of like James because
Who does he know that's from Harlem?
we'll barely know him, but he's making friends from Harlan.
And he's making friends too. We don't know that yet in this story, but that's something we find out later that he's able to make friends there. What do you think, Ben? Talk to me a little bit more about
He knows one person from Harlem,
who,
Uncle Mommy.
and is that an important person to him?
Yeah, it's his family member.
It's his family members. So his family's now sharing a piece of their childhood with James, and I think that's a pretty special thing to do.
And going to a place where your uncle, I guess, grew up and hanging out there and getting to know it,
Yeah.
actually helps you learn a lot about him. It happened. It can happen.
It can happen. If I took you guys to my hometown, I would take you to all my favorite places, tell you about my favorite restaurants and where I used to live. That's definitely me sharing.
Field trip.
Right, field trip. That's me sharing personal information with you. So I think that this is really going to help James maybe understand Uncle Romy a little better. What do you think, Megan?
And his dad or his mom been there too.
Yeah, I think this might be a place where their family may have visited. So I think it's, it says a lot about Aunt Nanette too, because she took him there.
Also, it probably like Aunt Nanette probably met Uncle
Romy.
Uncle Romy, and they had a good time together. And then Aunt Nanette that's what.
So you're making a prediction? Yeah, I like that the author gave it just a little bit of detail because it lets our imagination kind of take it where we want to. This is, truly a good
Now
story.
I'm in it.
Now I'm in it. This author's amazing. Okay, let's look back. Claire Hartfield.
And
We might have to ask the librarian if she has any other books from her because I'd be interested. Okay, so I'm going to read this next paragraph here. Ben, will you follow along under Harlem? Right there. Are we ready? Harlem was full of people, walking, working, shopping, eating. Some were watching the goings-on from the fire escapes. Others were sitting out on the stoops, greeting folks who passed by, just like the people back home, calling out hellos from their porches. Most everybody seemed to know Aunt Nanette. A lot of them asked for Uncle Romy, too.
oh, I know.
What are you thinking?
I know the art. Like the wild there.
Yeah.
That's the art. Wild there.
Yeah, that's the connection. All right, 131, I appreciate those of you who are working hard, but the volume is a little loud. I'm having a hard time hearing my peeps here, so bring it down. If you're done with the leveled reader, you can check if there's an AR test for it, okay? Yeah. It does connect to the collage that he makes later on. Can I share something with you that I thought was kind of interesting?
What?
Yes.
And tell me if you agree. It says here, others were sitting out on stoops, greeting folks who passed by, just like the people back home, calling out hellos from their front porch.
That's really good.
I'll just highlight.
James has a connection to that place in his home,
Yeah.
those kinds of things.
So James is making a connection to Harlem,
That could be a thought.
to his home. That could be a thought. So James is thinking Harlem is kind of like North Carolina, his home. He's making the connection in our head. A lot of times I ask you guys to make text-to-self connections. I'm like, how do you connect to the book? Like yesterday during Viking time. James automatically did that just being in Harlem. He goes, wow, this place is kind of like my home. So he's making connections in his head about how Harlem is similar to his home. Right? What do you guys think? Is it a stretch or does it work?
It works.
Okay.
Like
So
a tiny bit.
a little tiny bit. I'm making a stretch there, but so him thinking Harlem. How do we want to say this? Harlem. Oh, what did you? James is thinking about. Oh, Emily's got it. James is thinking about home and Harlem
being the same.
being the same. James is thinking about Harlem and his home being the same. He's thinking about his Can I read her? Yes, please.
Can I tell you what
Amazing.
I put?
I can't wait to read it.
Can I tell you what I put? Jamie is thinking that Harlem is like North Carolina.
Awesome. So we're just not even done with page 204, and look at how much we've already
Yeah.
plucked out. So it is now time to go to group. So if you wouldn't mind taking your spirals back to your tables and your books back to your groups. This was an amazing discussion. Thank you so much. Truly. Oh, it's fine. You're good. You are good, girl. Oh, such a good story, right?
I kind of wish we didn't have this.
I know. I'm like, we could start a book club,
Yeah.
Okay, book club now.
right?
It's going in.
Oh, yeah. All right, 131. So, Daniel, it's time to go to group. If you were the group who was just reading leveled readers, you're now transitioning into your 3-column notes. If you are working on 3-column notes, you're transitioning to the carpet to read the leveled reader. And if you're going to group, you're going to group. And we'll meet back up at music at 11. Music at 11.